Hey there, and welcome. I'm Anna Hartman, and this is Unreal Results, a podcast where I help you get better outcomes and gain the confidence that you can help anyone, even the most complex cases. Join me as I teach about the influence of the visceral organs and the nervous system on movement, pain, and injuries, all while shifting the paradigm of what whole body assessment and treatment really looks like. I'm glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Unreal Results podcast. So I've been MIA the last few weeks, and if you follow me on social media, you know why. And if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you're like, Anna, what's wrong with your eyes? And I am on day 19. Cannot believe this. Day 19 of severe viral conjunctivitis, which, if you don't know what that means, it means I have viral pink eye. It has been the worst experience ever. 0 of 10 recommend. It's been extremely painful and really debilitating because it's affected my vision and I can't really see. I have super blurry vision because of the dry eye it is created, as well as in the right eye I have this thing called a pseudomembrane that also is impairing my vision. So yeah, I have not been recording episodes. The first week of November I didn't record an episode because I had just taught the San Diego in-person LTAP level 1 course and was just tired and needed a break. Plus it was election week and there was just a lot of energy, a lot of feelings and like outside focus that week. So I was like, yeah, it's a good week to take off. And also that week I went to Arizona for a business mastermind. So it was just like a busy time, and I just like, don't force it. No need to force an episode. And I'll be back next week. And then, while I was in Arizona, I got the pink eye. And so the following week, I didn't record because my right eye that's where it started, and it was literally swollen shut. And so I was like, okay, this is not ideal. I didn't know it was at pink eye at first until I got back to San Diego and was able to go to the ophthalmologist. So I did see in Arizona, I did see an optometrist because it started on a Thursday, and the way my eye felt, I was like, wow, I've never felt like this before. And there's something going on and I better not F around and I should go see an eye doctor. And so obviously traveling, I don't have an eye doctor, even though I used to live there. I mean, also I have got good vision, so it's not like I see eye doctor regular anyways. So the area I was staying in, Scottsdale, had an optometrist office actually right across the street. And so I made a appointment with them. Luckily they had something same day, and went to see them because immediately it was itchy feeling, and then not only was it itchy feeling, it felt like I had something in my eye, but it instantly swelled up. So anyway, so I got into the optometrist, and by the time I saw her, I had gotten the swelling down a little bit with compressing and allergy eye drops, and it was a little better. And she looked at it and she was like, oh, maybe having a little allergy response, or looks like maybe a little sty has started. So she gave me a prescription eye drop and was like, in a couple of days, if it's not any better, call us back and I'll give you an oral antibiotic, because sometimes styes get infected. And she's like, it's so deep down that it's not gonna, the topical is not gonna work. And I was like, okay. So that was Friday afternoon. I came back Saturday. Saturday it was worse. Sunday it was even worse. So Monday morning, again, even worse. I called their office and I was like, wow, my eye's really bad. Like almost completely swollen shut. Can you order me the antibiotics? And they're like, oh yeah, that's not, we like, you should probably come in and get checked again. And I was like, well, I don't live there. And she's like, well, go, find someone locally, but make sure it's an ophthalmologist instead of an optometrist since it's more of a medical issue. And I was like, okay. So I called around in San Diego and found an ophthalmologist that had an appointment that day, thankfully, and went and saw him. And he like instantly saw me and he was like, oh, you have viral pink eye. And then like slowly backed away from me. And he's like, you have viral pink eye and it's extremely contagious and there's nothing I can really do. I'm going to give you these drops, but they're just to help with symptoms. It doesn't actually take the virus away. You just have to let it run its course. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks. And I was like, what? 2 to 4 weeks? Like I'm 5 days in and this is not okay. And he's like, yeah, sorry, and probably your vision's going to be affected, because you have severe pink eye and it'll be hazy for a while, but it'll slowly get better. And I was like, okay. He's like, and if you get double vision or if things get worse, come back in, but sorry. And I was like, okay, that sucked. So by the end of that week, and he was like, oh, and by the way, it'll probably be in your other eye soon. And I was like, oh. So by the end of that week, as predicted, it was in my other eye. And then my vision started being affected. And I was like, this seems like more than just hazy vision. So I went back to see him the next week. And he looked at it and he was like, yeah, it's still really bad, severe pink eye. You have this pseudomembrane started. He's like, there's still nothing I can do. And let me check your vision. And he looked at my vision and my pressures and stuff. And he was like, yeah, your vision's, he's like, your lens, your eye looks fine from a vision standpoint. He's like, but, he's like really dry. He's like, that's why you're so blurry is because your eyes are so dry from the, pink eye and inflammation. He's like, so like douse your eyes with, lubricating drops. Like all the time. He goes, and I'm sorry, you're still really contagious and it's still really bad. He's like, it's really no better than, he's like, even though it looks better to you because your eyes are open now, he's like, it's in your eye. He's like, it is no better. So that was depressing. And, so yeah. So not only have I been dealing with this painful pink eye, because it is very painful, I've also not really been able to leave the house because, one, I'm contagious and I don't want to get anybody sick. And then, two, I can't see. And so it's like I can't drive. Even going on walks is not the most comfortable thing in the world. It makes me feel very uneasy because I don't have like full visual acuity and full peripheral vision, and definitely makes you realize like how important vision is to your overall brain. Well, one, it is your brain, but like also to your brain and your sense of safety and sense of like awareness. So fuck, this has sucked. And yeah, so I've gotten a couple IVs. I've done a lot of the drops and been taking the prescription drops, even though it doesn't really seem to help much. And done, I think I just said I'd been doing IVs, and so the IVs I do feel like it has helped. I've also been like mega dosing vitamins and immune supporting supplements and yeah, literally doing all the things. My lymph nodes were swollen. They're still kind of on and off swollen. The interesting thing with the IVs is every time I do my IV, it like feels better, and then I have this like almost like flare up. My eyes get really swollen and red and hot. My face gets hot, like a very strong histamine response to it. But then it's like better the next day. So that's interesting. I don't know what that means. In my head, it's like all those vitamins supporting the immune system and the immune system like attacking the virus again. But I don't know. That's just, I make it up in my head. So anyways, I don't have a ton, to like talk about or like plan for the podcast. I have a couple podcast topics I want to do, but still not feeling great. I did last week. I felt up for doing the last call of the online LTAP level 1 live training call. It was 2 hours and it was a great call, but yeah, it was a struggle bus for my eyes. It's just since it's hard to read, I'm like straining and not blinking a lot, and then that further dries the eyes out and blah, blah, blah. So pretty uncomfortable. I did want to say, what do I want to say? I wanted to just give an update to all of you and like let you know, like, hey, why there hasn't been episodes, and also let you know kind of a longer form update of the viral pink eye. So not that I want this whole episode to be about pink eye, but it basically is going to. And I did this whole thing actually on Instagram and shared with people, and a lot of people didn't know. So the biggest thing as I've been sharing about this on Instagram is people are like, oh, like a little confused of like, why does this seem so bad for you? Like, I had pink eye and I was gone in 2 days, or I had pink eye and I was gone in a day, and I had pink eye and it wasn't as bad, or there's people who are like, oh, I had this and it sucked. So there is a difference between, so first of all, pink eye is a kind of a generic term for any conjunctivitis, and conjunctivitis is just an inflammation, swelling of the conjunctiva, which is the soft tissues surrounding your eyeball. It's like the back side of your eyelids, upper and lower, and corners and all around your eyes. And conjunctivitis can be caused by an allergy. So like when I was a kid, I used to get allergic conjunctivitis all the time whenever I was exposed to cats, horses. Like I was so allergic, my eyes would get swollen shut, get like all gross and like mucousy allergy response and itchy and red. That is technically a form of pink eye. Then there's bacterial pink eye. So bacterial conjunctivitis, probably the most common kind. That is the kind that's most associated with like the old like farting on someone's pillow move. That's caused by bacteria. And bacterial conjunctivitis gets better quickly because you can use an antibiotic. And the antibiotic treats it. And usually once you start taking the antibiotic, even though your eyes will stay pink for a little bit, you're no longer contagious. And so you can like live your life. But viral pink eye is caused most commonly by the adenovirus. The adenovirus is the same virus that causes the common cold and the flu, one of the flu viruses. And I think like 60 or 70% of the cases of viral conjunctivitis are caused by the adenovirus. So because a lot of people were asking me like, where did I get it? As if you know where you get colds and things, or like, I don't know, I got it from somebody, another host of the virus, right? So, and it's just like you get a cold or COVID or the flu is from germs. Somebody's germs coming in contact with you, whether that is direct contact, like you're making out with somebody who has the virus, or you come in contact with a surface that's been exposed to the virus. So, basically all it takes is somebody who has pink eye to touch their eye and then touch their hand to the surface of something, and then me touch that surface and then touch my eye. So crazy thing about the adenovirus is that virus is a very strong virus and can survive up to 84 days on surfaces. So it literally could have been anywhere. And also, from what I can tell of all the reading I've done on the internet about it, is like the incubation period is anywhere from 12 hours to 12 days. So who knows where I got it? The airplane, the airport, the Uber, the groceries from the Instacart, the, DoorDash delivery, the Airbnb I was in, like literally the gate to my house, front door, like it could have been anywhere is my point. So that's just how it is. And then, yes, it is a long virus. So unfortunately, mild cases, 7 to 14 days. Severe cases like mine, typically more like 14 to 30 days. And that sucks. So that's a little bit about the adenovirus. So, wash your hands, don't touch your face. I will say it started in my right eye, and my right eye is like, for the last year or two, been kind of like waters a lot. So I am like constantly like wiping tears away from my right eye. So I'm not surprised that I touched the surface and then touched my eye, like as much as I don't want to admit it. Like, yeah, my fault. And when you think about it, it's like kind of crazy that you don't get sick all the time knowing that about germs like the adenovirus. But here we are. So yes, in case you're wondering, that's why it's different. That's, and then also the difference is that it's a severe case and not a mild case. What made me get a severe case? I have no idea. I think it just sometimes happens. And then the other thing about sharing it on the internet, sharing anything on the internet, right, is like this. People think that sharing is you asking for help and advice, and so then you get a lot of unsolicited advice. This is why if you ever post something on the internet and I like follow you, I will never write you and be like, oh, you should fix this, and this about your movement. I don't do things like that. Usually what I'll say, if I have something to say, is I have some thoughts on your movement. If you would like to know, I'm happy to share them with you, but I recognize you're not asking for help. So I'm asking you for consent for me to volunteer my help. And some people are like surprised when I do this, but it's one of those things that like consent matters. Should just be giving advice to everybody. I know it comes from like a kind heart, but it's also can be a little annoying. So anyways, I've gotten advice for a million different things from people, different products for dry eye, different solutions that, cured people's pink eye in a day, which I'm like, well, if it cured it in a day, it was probably bacterial, not viral. And, or if you have a secret antiviral medication, like you should probably patent that because that's pretty amazing. But, and then people like recommending colloidal silver and breast milk are really common ones. Oh, and somebody told me to put essential oils in my eye. I believe tea tree, which sounds like burning. I would never directly put an essential oil like that in my eyeball. If anything, too, this makes me like more protective of what I put in my eyeball because the experience I've gone through with like, I don't want to say losing my vision because it's not lost, but like having my vision impaired significantly makes me want to protect my eyeballs at all costs. So I will not be putting things like in it. And I'm not like speaking down to you if you like are a believer of those things working, like good for you. I'm glad they were helpful for you. But what I choose to put in my eyeballs is going to be up to me and my doctors and the people that I trust. And I mean, not that I'm a big like evidence-based research But also, I'm like, a lot of those things don't actually show that they're helpful from a viral standpoint. Some of those things are very helpful from a bacterial standpoint. But again, this is viral conjunctivitis, not bacterial. So and actually on that point, somebody was like, Anna, how was your doctor really sure that it was viral? I'm like, well, two reasons. 3 reasons, actually. Number 1, the type of discharge I'm having is watery. And when it's bacterial, it's like crusty, mucousy, yellowy, bacterial type of discharge. I've not had that at all. So that's probably like the easiest way to know. Number 2, when he looked at my eyes in the, microscope, there's like a little white bumps that get on the conjunctiva when it's more viral. And then also the fact that my lymph nodes were swollen in my face. My parotid lymph nodes were the first things to swell, and that's very indicative of a viral reaction. And then also the fact that I've been taking topical antibiotics and a steroid, and neither one of those are helping. If it was bacterial, the steroid and the antibiotic would have helped it. So, all the reasons why I trust the man that's the ophthalmologist over the internet trying to diagnose me. Oh, so fun facts about viral conjunctivitis. That's 20 minutes of me talking about pink eye. I never thought I would have a podcast episode talking about pink eye, but yet here we are. And I feel like it's one of those, like, the more you know. Hopefully next week when I record the podcast, you'll be not having to deal with me looking like my eyes hurt and hearing about my eyes. I'm sure the world is overhearing about my eyes. On that note, though, speaking of this week, when this podcast drops, it will be the day before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you celebrating. And obviously it's the United States holiday, so that would be people in the United States. And with Thanksgiving becomes the beginning of the holiday sales season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and of course, as I do every year, doing an annual Black Friday holiday sale. It starts on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, so Black Friday, November 29th, and it goes until end of day Monday, Cyber Monday, December 2nd. So this year, I'm offering 50% off all individual self-paced online education products, as well as the Regen Library, and 60% off when you bundle them all. And then also, if you get the bundle and get all of the products, you get a free bonus of the new clinical reasoning for the Reset Your Nervous System Regen session. So if you just want to buy that alone, it's available for 50% off, but as part of the bundle, it's just a bonus for buying the bundle. So check it out. This is an opportunity to fill out your library if you are missing any products, or if you're new around here to get the products and start binging them. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me via the socials or via email at info@movementrep.com. And I'm happy to answer your questions all about the sale. Yeah, but that's it. I hope you have a great day. Have a great holiday, and wash your hands and don't touch your eyes.